This is breaking news from the Las Vegas Review-Journal, sponsored by Michael Gaughan's South Point Hotel, Casino, and Spa.
And then we will open it up to Q&A, and then after that we'll wrap and we'll go outside and look at the bus with the new camera system. Thank you.
Good morning. Thank you, Todd. Thank you for being here. It's that time of year. It's exciting. The children will be coming back to school August 8th, and we're ready. Our staff had the pleasure this morning to welcome 433 secondary school teachers that are here to change lives in this community, and then I will be headed at 1 o'clock to thank and welcome our 400 plus elementary educators that are going to be here to really take care of our most precious asset in this community, which is the 305,000 children that I get the honor to serve as their superintendent. It's close to a week before our kids come to school, and really our parents, I want to thank you for your patience and thank you for sending us back. I know you're ready for our kids to come back as well. Our staff has been working, learning, our entire CCSD community to prepare for welcoming our students. We're also making sure that our schools are safe, to make sure that when they come to school, they're safe so they can focus on the learning. We have a lot of work to do. As I committed to all of you last year, we are continuing. This is, as Mr. Story mentioned, this is our last update that we will have on all the safety measures that we have been taking part of. This summer, and actually Durango High School being one, as we all know, we piloted our instant alert system. We're very excited with our progress with the 9 schools that piloted this program. And we're also, I just want everybody to know that we are, in the coming board meeting, we will be bringing a recommendation for this instant alert system to be for the entire district community. So really excited about that. Can't tell you who we selected, but it'll be in the August 11th recommendation to the board because of the positive feedback that we have received and the need, as I mentioned, to staff to continue that all staff in every single building is safe. Before I turn it over to the experts here in our safety experts, parents, I ask you, as you send your kids home, from home to our campuses, make sure you talk to them, make sure that you check their book bags, make sure that they are ready to learn. You are the first line of defense. Students, please know that we will continue to enforce the district discipline code of conduct. I can't emphasize enough, the safety of our students and our staff is of the utmost priority for me and for the school board of trustees. So make sure your focus is on learning from day one so you can get the academic support that you need in order to continue moving forward as a student in our school. So I am confident that this community will partner with all of us to protect the lives of the 305,000 children and the 42,000 employees. And now I would like to turn it over to our phenomenal Chief of Police, Mike Buckeye. Chief?
Thank you. All right, good morning. This year will begin like every traditional school year has. We'll be working with our local law enforcement partners, Metro, Henderson, North Las Vegas, Boulder City, and Mesquite, and NHP, to increase police presence in and around our Clark County schools. Every officer is ready to respond quickly and professionally to any emergency on our campuses to protect students and staff. We have 2 officers assigned to each of our comprehensive high schools, and our patrol officers provide services to our middle schools and our elementary schools every single school day. Officers assigned to campuses are proactive. They build relationships with our students and staff so they feel comfortable in coming to them with their concerns. Our K-9 officers, they will be out conducting classroom sniffs for guns and drugs. And our motor officers will continue their work in reducing the number of students struck by vehicles as they walk to and from school. And as you know, the number that I was reported was over 40 students were struck by vehicles last school year. All of our officers have been through crisis intervention training to support individuals during a mental crisis. They work hand in hand with the district's crisis intervention team, the district counselors, and social workers. This year, we're happy to announce that the school police have 3 school police social workers that will be working hand in hand with our officers to address issues that come up and to support our students and our staff, victims and suspects alike. The number one priority of our officers and everyone that works for school police and also our local partners is the safety of every person in CCSD schools. I know many of you had the opportunity to see the training that was conducted at O'Rourke Elementary School last week. Obviously, in light of the tragic incident in Texas, that regular training got a lot of media attention. In fact, we have been conducting active assailant training just like that for the past 23 years since Columbine. And all training, whether it's Metro, Henderson, North Las Vegas, Mesquite, or Boulder City, it's consistent from agency to agency based on the formation of the MACTAC cadre developed by Metro. Now, it's been a couple months since we've had children in our schools walking to and from school. So I ask everyone to please slow down. Beginning August 8th, everyone should leave a few minutes early. They should be patient, and they should slow down, especially when those the school zone flashers are flashing. Our kids will be out there. Before I go, just want to remind everyone, students, staff, families, that Safe Voice is available for anonymous reporting of issues that may impact the school environment or people directly. And all Safe Voice tips are followed up by the appropriate jurisdiction and the appropriate administrative staff. Finally, for our parents and students, see page 11 in the CCSD Back to School Guide. That will address what we do, what school police does, and it also provides some tips on keeping our kids safe this school year. It's also available on ccsd.net. If you click on Health and Safety section, it addresses some questions and it answers some questions and some tips on how to keep your students safe this school year. It addresses things like walking to school safely, some basic tips on preparation before they go to school, things like that. Now, finally, I'd like to introduce Captain Christine Buist from Las Vegas Metropolitan Police Department. Thank you.
Good morning. I want to talk a little bit about our partnership with school police, with our neighboring jurisdictions, North Las Vegas Police and Henderson Police, and the School Violence Initiative. The School Violence Initiative is specifically designed to address any issues within school property that may come onto school property or that could occur before or after school hours. It will specifically address crimes, juvenile offenses, threats of violence on property, weapons that are going to be or possibly could be brought onto school property, and keeping the students within the district safe. The School Violence Initiative does not just encompass the first week of school. It continues all the way through the school year and even into the summer. It allows us to work in conjunction with our partners at school police in order to identify potential violent issues and address them before they become unsafe for the students on campus. We track these diligently and we make sure that all of them are addressed so that there is a resolution and we are not missing potentially violent incidents that could occur. For some of the incidents that have occurred at schools, many times there are some red flags, and the School Violence Initiative aims to identify those people before it becomes an issue, get them into services, or address them through the criminal justice system. We have continued to build our partnership with school police over the years. We have worked cooperatively and in conjunction with them on training, to include the training that was mentioned by the chief related to active shooters. We have continued to build the partnership with the campus police officers and also with the administrators on school grounds. As far as the training that Metro has done leading into this school year, every single area command is actively going to their area schools to contact their administrators and representatives within those schools. They're doing tours with the line officers to ensure that they know where to respond to and how to respond should an incident occur on school property. They also are making contact with the administrators so they know who to contact in the case of some sort of issue on school property, in the interest of making a response as smooth and quick as possible. Additionally, Metro's focus is on not just keeping the school itself safe, but keeping the area around the school safe during ingress and egress, so at the beginning of school and at the end of school, to ensure that the school year goes smoothly, that the students and teachers are able to be in a safe learning environment, and that the year continues to where they are able to learn what they need to learn. We're going to continue building our relationships with our partners and with school police, and we look forward to having a safe and productive school year. With that, I'll turn it over to Nathan Miller, who is the facilities chief for the school district.
Thank you and good morning. I would like to begin by first acknowledging and thanking our team of professionals at the Facilities Services Unit for taking on this very important assignment to implement security measures for the benefit of all stakeholders in our schools, while concurrently working to modernize, repair, and support our existing schools, and to open up new school buildings to our students and families here on August 8th. In the latter half of last school year, we began to make necessary improvements to our schools, most notably implementing systems of single point of entry. Many schools have such systems in place already, and others are being planned, designed, and constructed as we speak today. Due to the unique nature and specific prototype of each school, single point of entry mechanisms will look different from school to school. As the school year begins in just over a week from now, students, parents, and school visitors will notice single point of entry systems in conjunction with added perimeter fencing to support visitor access pathways to schools. We are also actively working to enhance our security camera systems to support the aforementioned safety measures. It's important to note, again, that many schools have some or all of these safety measures in place presently, and we want to ensure our community of that. And this work will be ongoing as we ensure that these safety measures are employed at all schools throughout our district for all students as we continue forward. For safety reasons, we are not identifying the exact schools or the exact changes that have or will be made to our campuses. Although some changes will be obvious to the public, we don't want to provide those with ill intentions information they could use to do harm. And with that, I will now ask our Emergency Management Coordinator, Chris Batterman, to discuss the Instant Alarm Alert System. Chris?
Good morning. My name is Chris Batterman. I am the Emergency Management Coordinator for the school district. You are all aware that we have 10 pilot systems going on through the Clark County School District, what we call an instant alert system. We've received tremendous positive feedback from staff for these systems. Currently, we are bringing to the board on August 11th a recommendation, and we're going to talk about that a little bit further at that time. Another safety enhancement that we're currently doing for the school district is a uniform visitor management system. That's going to be throughout every single site, not just schools, but every single site, and it's going to be uniform so we understand that everybody has this visitor management orientation system that we can actually utilize in the best format. Because what we're trying to find and what we're understanding is we don't have a visitor management idea at the public level. But the truth is, at the school level, we've been doing it every single day for years. So we are pushing this forward through all the school sites. Same thing with all the staff training. Administrators are currently being trained on school emergency operation plans as we speak, and by August 5th, all staff will be trained on those plans. I'm now going to introduce Jennifer Volbus, our Executive Director of Transportation.
Good morning. Jennifer Vobis, Transportation for the Clark County School District. The Clark County School District Transportation Department is currently upgrading all our camera systems in our 1,923 buses. While all our buses currently have camera systems, the new camera systems will have live look-in and real-time surveillance capabilities. Currently, approximately 60% of our cameras have been upgraded, and we will continue to upgrade our systems throughout the school year. Thank you.
Okay, if we have any questions, English or Spanish, who's first?
I have a question in Spanish.
Okay, that'll be me.
Muchas gracias. En algunas escuelas, pues, el uso de los celulares no lo recomiendan a los estudiantes. Y hubo una escuela que la semana pasada mandó un correo avisando a los padres que no manden teléfonos con los hijos a las escuelas. Y además van a empezar un programa donde ponen el teléfono en un case, en una funda, y se cierra con llave hasta que al final del día lo puedan desbloquear. Eso ha preocupado a algunos padres por si hay una emergencia. ¿Cómo es que los niños van a poder desbloquear los teléfonos rápidamente?
De que los niños no usan los celulares en las escuelas, en las clases, eso es una decisión que hicieron en la escuela, no fue un directo de mi oficina o del sistema escolar. Eso entonces lo que vamos a asegurar que si hay emergencia en las casas, en la escuela, que llamen a los padres. Y vamos ahí está Mauricio para que nos dé más datos para poder ayudar a la familia. Muchas gracias.
So just to follow up on that, so is that a new?
No, so I guess for those that don't speak English, the question, speak Spanish, sorry. The question is that there was a school that sent out a notice of no cell phones, and that they would put the cell phones on a cubby, on a pouch before, and they would get them after school. That was a school level decision that was made. So we're going to follow up to find out the school because I hear the parents concerned that they want to get a hold of their kids, but it was not a directive from my office or the district office.
What school is that?
I don't know.
I have a name.
So we can get that details up. Yeah. So that was not a first I hear.
What's the update on the safety pilot for El Dorado High School? What's the update?
So we've been very clear. We've updated our cameras. We've updated our instant alert system. That was the first school that we were able to do. Obviously, it was a priority. The cameras, the point of entries, the fencing, that school is ready to go. They've been trained from, I can't thank this entire team enough. That was expedient and swiftly to really make sure that everybody's been trained. All the systems are a go. We were ready for summer. And staff, I talked to a staff member today and thanked me. What I said, thanks to the team, but they did all the work. They feel that we listened and, took matters to support our educators there. So we're ready. Yes?
This is for the transportation department. You said the cameras in the buses will have a live look in. So does that mean occasional look in or someone on duty at all times for 2 hours where the buses are active?
So it will have both a recording system and live look-in. Our goal is to have a staff member who already survey cameras and film footage from the buses to listen to our dispatchers, and as things are happening, be able to monitor the system.
Will they be ready for the first day of school?
60% of them will be, yes.
I'm sure multiple people can answer this question, but obviously Uvalde making headlines throughout the summer. Is the single point of entry something that came after that, or was that worse before that? And what's being done after that incident in Texas? Are you guys looking at what unfolded on that campus?
So I can tell you the point of entry, we started doing that work this year, principals in conversations with me when we were looking at the violence and the uptick in violent acts here in the Clark County School District. So we started addressing that prior to the tragedy at Uvalde, Texas, and what's happened there. I can tell you, and I'll let the chief and others speak to it. I've said this from day one. I have the utmost respect and full confidence in the police department of the Clark County School District, our administrators. And I can tell you that the training that they have gone through, I haven't participated, but I've heard that our police officers are ready to respond. But I'll let the chief, as the expert in this matter, to address the question.
All right. As far as single point of entry, we've conducted site assessments at each one of our sites. And as far as physical security goes for schools, a single point of entry is one of the staple, strategies for ensuring the safety of the staff and the students during the school day. So it's always been a goal. It became more of a goal after our first round of assessments, which was conducted right after Dr. Jara took his position here. And I believe that was 4 years ago, 3 years ago, something like that.
Seems like.
Yeah, seems like that. So yeah, that's. Does that answer the question? Regarding the Uvalde incident, I don't know enough details about that. I don't know if it's been confirmed that there was a breach in the single point of entry for the shooter of that incident, if that was actually a factor.
I guess the question sort of is, are you looking at that incident at all to see what can be improved on what they did?
Yeah, the Stone Douglas, the Uvalde, all the school shootings that occur, and I believe there's been reported 4 major ones since January of this year. We review those and challenge our safety procedures to what occurred in another jurisdiction or another state. So yes, we did review what was reported to have occurred in Uvalde. There was a discussion regarding the possibility that the police officers did not have keys to enter the classroom. That's not an issue with our jurisdictions here. All agencies have that ability to enter our schools, as well as fire, to enter our schools without having to grab a staff member of that site to enter the classrooms.
One of the biggest concerns really that came out of that was a failure in the joint information systems. Because, for example, one person saying he thought he was in charge, somebody else saying the other person thought they were in charge, et cetera, which goes with the jig and the gist, you know what I mean? So I'm just wondering if that is also part of what you guys are doing as well.
Yes, like I said, since 1999, I believe that's when Columbine occurred, and we've been conducting active assailant training through Unified Command. And it's it's the first officers that arrive on the scene to actually determine that response. The goal, however, is to immediately address and neutralize that subject. There are considerations that come up. However, that is the ultimate goal. And in discussing the Uvalde incidents with my colleagues here, it's just we're at a loss for what actually occurred, what caused that serious breakdown to take an hour to enter the classroom where they knew students and some staff members were injured and possibly dying. It's just I don't understand it.
But that level of communication.
That level of communication with our agency, it happens with officer to officer, sergeant to sergeant, lieutenant to lieutenant, for any incident.
So the dynamic here also has to do with,
Can you get to?
yeah, sorry. It also has to do with some of the size of the agency. We are kind of a valley. We work really, really closely with our partners from North Las Vegas, Henderson, NHP, and school police. Unified Command for us is not a foreign concept. We do it quite a bit. In fact, we will have a Unified Command as part of our school violence initiative for the first week of school. We set that up every time we're either starting school or going on a break. because that is when we tend to see an uptick in some of the violent incidents within schools. We do train regularly to address a critical incident, whether it be within a school or whether it be something like 1 October. We train relentlessly. When we see something like Marjorie Stoneman Douglas or something like Uvalde, our advanced training at Metro takes a hard look at it. We recreate it, we review our policies, and we ensure that we would not have the same failures, and we work with our partner agencies to ensure that that same thing would happen and that there is a consistency of training and response so that there isn't that level of confusion. We work very hard as a group to ensure that those issues are addressed, and we take a very hard look at, I know most of you have probably seen the alert report that's come out regarding Uvalde. We review those, we're aware of them, and we make every effort to ensure that our policies, our training, and our partnerships will not allow those things to happen here.
Next question.
Yes, in Spanish again. ¿Se ha considerado colocar detectores de metales en las escuelas?
So the question is if there's an interest or that we've discussed metal detectors. What I can tell you from, perdóname, nosotros el assessment, la evaluación que hicimos hace 4 años de las escuelas, del safety y la seguridad, eso no es una de las prioridades de lo que los expertos de seguridad nos recomendaron. Lo que nos recomendaron fueron los single point of entries, el safety, las puertas que estén cerradas. Esas son las cosas que nosotros estamos haciendo. Por eso nosotros, it's been, how long have we had the canines that we started? 4 years.
3.
3 years. Hace 3 años nosotros estamos invirtiendo en los canines, en los perros, para lo que dijo el chief, ir a las escuelas y hacer los random searches con los perros.
I was wondering if you could add just
I can translate in English. So the question about metal detectors. So when we did our assessment, our safety assessment about 4 years ago, 3 to 4 years ago, that's not one of the priorities or recommendations from the experts in safety. I know that, folks say that in airports, you see that in games, but for schools, the experts have not made that a priority. What they've made a priority is the single point of entries, locking doors, numbering our buildings, a lot of those priorities, and that's what we're investing in our schools around safety. 3 years ago, working with our chief and our police, we started investing in canines because we're looking at that as a random searches, and then we have, I believe, we have 5 canines for drugs and for dogs, and for drugs and guns.
What is that?
Violence initiative, sorry, is that something that's been around for a while, or is it something that's now being implemented and partnered with to address the violence that was going on towards the end of the last school year?
No, the school violence initiative has been around for quite some time. I'm sorry, I don't have the exact dates, but it's not new this year. It's something that we've done for a while, and we're simply working on making it stronger, expanding the reach, and expanding the information sharing as we move forward with it. But it's been around for quite some time. Captain Martinez, do you know how long it's been around by chance?
Almost 10 years. Probably approximately 6 years.
Okay. We're anywhere from 6 to 10 years, so it's not a new initiative.
So the end of last school year, I feel like every other day we were doing videos of fights going on campus. Is anybody shed light on that?
So I can tell you from what we're seeing on video, I mean, this is the challenge, we're living in a social media world. I can say this, and I'll say this as a former high school principal, fights on campuses are not new. That's been going on for decades. What's new is that kids are videotaping the fights and posting them on social media. Obviously, we've had some violence against our staff, and that's where I can tell you what we said to this community was that we don't tolerate it, and we're going to enforce our district discipline code of conduct. So the challenge is really the cell phone use and the social media, which is the new world that we're living in at this time.
So with a single point of entry in schools, does that mean kids have to get up earlier to go to school? Because then you line?
No, the great question, and I'm sorry, I think I know where you were going, but no, it's what you saw here. So basically, the kids will all get on campus, and then we lock our doors, and then visitors in and out will be going through the single point of entry for us to monitor who's coming onto our campuses.
And that's for going out. That's for leaving out after school is over. Same thing, in and out that same door.
Yeah, it'll be all the way throughout the school day.
Lorraine?
Yeah, Chief Black, I had a question coming off of the superintendent's last point about, there's always been fights in schools with kids are videotaping now. In April, I believe you said that this school year was shaping up to be the busiest in the department's history. I mean, do you guys have updated numbers? I mean, was it the busiest year for CCSD in terms of calls for service, fights?
Yes, in certain categories, it was our busiest year. We did see an uptick in the amount of incidents that students resolved their differences through physical violence, and a lot of that was filmed by their cell phones and posted for their content on social media, and that was a huge trend coming out of the pandemic, where social media was their life, and it continued that way while school started, and so we start seeing a huge uptick in the amount of incidents where students were merely filming these incidents and not helping to resolve them if they were the only ones involved in it.
Absolutely, and you also mentioned you have 3 school police social workers to address issues throughout the district. Can you go into a little more detail about that? What kind of issues will they be tackling? Does that dovetail with Metro's school violence initiative and just kind of identifying, individuals who are maybe having issues before it kind of escalates? Right, I'll talk about the school violence initiative first. Yes, it's about 6-7 years that's been in development after the unfortunate, the tragic incident that occurred at the Palo Verde, after Palo Verde closed for the day, that so many years ago. There was a study conducted, and this information is available online through UNLV. They studied what the breakdown was, and that's when the School Violence Initiative was born. It involves all agencies in the Valley here to share information through the Fusion Center. School Police has always devoted one staff member to report any incidents happening in the schools throughout the school day with all our local partners. So everyone's aware of what is going on in our schools at any given point in the day. That's our contribution to the School Violence Initiative. Our partner's contribution is to actually take that information and assist if it's needed. It also is an element. There's an element of tracking of incidents and things like that, so we can see trends. This very press conference is part of the School Violence Initiative, to have 2 press conferences a year to kick off the school and end the school. Typically it's before, and through the history we have one typically at spring break. And that's just several of the things that we do through the School Violence Initiative. It's a method to share information about what's occurring in our schools to help keep our schools safe. What was the other? The counselors.
The social workers. We started that through the school district last year. We hired one school district social worker to join our department and help develop the program. Nationally, you can look up. This is becoming a huge trend. Metro Henderson and North Las Vegas. They all have worked regularly with social workers. We have in the past as well, through school social workers. Now we're fortunate enough now to have social workers work directly with our officers when the incidents either occur or right after they occur, to provide assistance to those students, those families, whether it be housing insecurities, food, all those types of supports we can now provide to victims and suspects and their families if those are determined to be somewhere related in what's bringing that child to violence.
Last question, Hillary. Hillary, last question.
How much are the new cameras for the buses costing, and how is that being funded?
Thank you. The new camera system, the upgrade to the camera system is currently being funded with bond funds, and it's approximately $6 million.
Is there still a bus driver shortage, and should students expect delays in that?
There should always be delays, expect delays the first 2 weeks of school. It's a new, everybody's getting into the new routine. Students are trying to get on the bus and trying to figure out what buses they're supposed to be getting on. Schools are trying to figure out what students get on which bus, and parents are trying to figure out where bus stops are. So I would expect delays the first 2 weeks of school. As far as the bus driver shortage, we won't really have those numbers until Monday when all our drivers return for their annual bidding event.
Do you think being done to combat that before it pops up?
Absolutely. We've been working really hard. The district leadership, I have to say, has done a great job in supporting us. We've done bell time changes. There was a rate increase for drivers. We've consolidated our routes.
RTC partnership still happening?
RT's partnership is still happening.
Superintendent Jordan,
So-
just a quick question on, you were saying you were going to go back on August 11th to present.
To the board.
To the board, right, to implement a lot of these strategies throughout the school district. How much of a budget request are you making?
So no, so thank you for the question. The recommendation is coming to the board is on the instant alert system on the board meeting on the August 11th board meeting. A lot of these other things have been funded. I don't have the numbers, but we can get that to you. I just want to thank, in closing, I just want to thank all of you, obviously our partners, North Las Vegas, City of Henderson, Metro. Parents, I can't stress enough. Check book bags before they come to school. Talk to your kids. If kids don't feel safe, if kids don't want to come to school, there is a reason. Let us know so we can help you, so we can help your student. Our priority is to keep kids in school so they can learn, and our staff, our Board of Trustees has invested and continue to invest in our police department to make sure that our staff is safe. I am proud of the work that we've done around the school justice partnership to make sure that our priority is to keep our kids in school. If they misbehave, maybe a comprehensive school is not the right answer. We will provide the support. We talked a lot about all the re-engagement strategies that we've done. Our training, our staff is ready, our principals are ready. So we are looking forward to a great opening of the school year for our 305,000 children. Again, thank you so much.
Okay, thank you, everybody. 2 points. One, again, you all experienced a single point of entry when you came in, so you know what that is and you're familiar with it. 2, we'll reassemble down at the bus in front of the...
You've been watching breaking news from the Las Vegas Review-Journal, sponsored by Michael Gaughan's South Point Hotel, Casino, and Spa.